Well, folks, the days are growing shorter. Thanksgiving is well in the rearview mirror by now. Holiday season is now in full swing, and my friends, something else that's very much in full swing already, college basketball season. Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in on a chilly and rainy Saturday evening for a happy hour edition of St. Martin's men's basketball alongside Saints Director of Athletic Communications, Austin Burns. I'm Jeff Lucero, happy to be here with you for the live broadcast from Marcus Pavilion on the Saints Digital Network. Our game this evening pits the Saints against a longtime GNAC rival, the Alaska Nanooks. We'd also like to welcome in any Nanooks fans tuning in today. Very nice to have you along for the broadcast as well. This was to have been our second game of the day. The Saints and Nanooks women's team were slated to tip off this afternoon at 3, but word came down around noon that that game would have to be postponed. Let's hope they're able to make up that game at a later date. And hey, when I said it was chilly here a moment ago, maybe I should have held my tongue. I checked the weather in Fairbanks before we went to air, and it is minus 26 degrees up there. By those standards, it is downright balmy here in Lacey tonight. We'll talk matchups in a bit, but first, let's chat about the home team. And, well, for the Saints, they come into tonight's game a little worse for the wear, having dropped 2 of their last 3 contests after going 3-1 to start the season. After their second of 2 road trips south to California, where they played 5 of their first 6 games this year, the Saints returned home to open league play against Anchorage 2 nights ago. The Saints got off to a bit of a slow start in their GNAC opener and never quite fully recovered. St. Martin's trailed nearly wire to wire on their way to a 76-67 defeat. After Anchorage jumped out to an early 17-5 lead, the Saints did their best to work down the deficit, cutting it to as little as 3 in the first half, but Anchorage had the answer to seemingly every Saints run, and the Seawolves took a 46-34 lead into the halftime break. After Anchorage stretched its lead to a game-high 16 early in the second half, St. Martin's rattled off 9 straight to bring the energy back into Marcus Pavilion, and they found themselves down just 6, with 2 minutes to play. The Saints would draw no closer in the game's waning moments as Anchorage held on for the 9-point win. Despite the setback, there were still some very encouraging takeaways from the Saints' GNAC opening performance. Namely, they committed just 7 turnovers for the entire game. Saints head coach Aaron Landon has to be encouraged by how well his guys took care of the ball against a rugged ball-hawking team like Anchorage. Also of note, the solid backcourt production turned in by Alex Schumacher and Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Between them, they hit for 35 points on the night, more than half of the squad's offensive output. They also combined to hit 6 of 9 from behind the arc. Let's now welcome in Austin Burns to the broadcast. And Austin, despite going 1-2 in their last 3 games, the Saints look like they are absolutely legit. They just went nose to nose with a team that is certainly one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the GNAC. They did a remarkable job taking care of the ball. Typically, when you only surrender 7 turnovers in a game, you win said game. Not only that, but how about the play of Jaden Nielsen-Skinner Thursday night? With 17 points on 6 of 8 shooting, including 4 of 5 from deep. He busted out in that game in a big way. That's the type of production the Saints head coach Aaron Landon had in mind for the first-year transfer point guard, especially as his team gets deeper into conference play, picking up right here tonight at home against Alaska.
Absolutely, Jeff. I'm going to start with Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. To me, he's the MVP of this team, and you really saw the Saints missed him. He wasn't able to play in the games down in California, but he wasn't starting, and you could tell the Saints just had a different feel. They got him back in the starting lineup on Thursday, and he played amazing. I mean, he is a difference maker on the floor. I think he's their best defensive player, and he can come up with clutch shots. That's what he did. I don't think the Saints stay as close as they did to the Seawolves without some of those big-time shots by Skinner. But for me, St. Martin's, this is a good offensive team. I think they just had an off night. Defensively, they weren't 100% there, and you know Aaron Landon and his staff are going to want to key in, especially when you have the best offensive player maybe in the country on the court tonight for Alaska. So the Saints defense are going to have to tune up, and the offense has to come back alive. But they have a lot of weapons. I expect the Saints to respond hungry here tonight.
Well, and let's go ahead and just roll right into our preview of the opponent for the Saints tonight. The Nanooks enter tonight's game with an overall record of 3-4 on the season. After dropping their first 2 games, they won their next 3, but they've since lost their last two. Their most recent loss was a tough one all the way around as they dropped their league opener to Western Oregon Thursday night in Monmouth, getting drubbed to the tune of 99-74. But make no mistake, this is a supremely talented team. There are no fewer than 4 Division I transfers on this team, which tells you that they are loaded for bear. There's little doubt that the Nooks head coach Greg Sparling has his most talented team in this, his 3rd season at the helm in Fairbanks. In fact, one of those D1 transfers is his own flesh and blood. Coleman Sparling arrived in Fairbanks after playing 1 season at Texas Arlington in the Sun Belt Conference. But this is actually the 2nd time that he's played for his dad in his college career, having played for him when both were over at Central Washington together a few years back. But even as this team has stockpiled Division I talent, it is no secret who the de facto best player is on this team. Austin just mentioned it a moment ago. He might be the best player in the country. Without a doubt, it is Shadid Shabazz. Dude is just different, an otherworldly scorer who can blow up a scoreboard at will. He is an offensive wizard, a complete showstopper. As a team through 7 games, the Nooks are averaging 77 points per game. They're shooting 44% from the floor, 40% from 3, and 72% at the foul line. Where they've been struggling the most so far, however, is at the defensive end of the floor. They are giving up 80 points per game, a number that puts them dead last in the GNAT. Thing is, though, Austin, this is a team that comes in limping a little. They got lit up in Monmouth Thursday night by a Western Oregon team that had really been struggling so far this season. And Shadid Shabazz, well, he had what was probably the worst game of his life at any level, scoring just 2 points in the 25-point loss to the Wolves. All of this, Austin, is what absolutely terrifies me about this team tonight. They come in to Marcus Pavilion, a wounded, cornered animal, and they'll do just about anything to fight their way out of here in order to get right again. The Saints are going to have their hands full with this tough and very talented team in GNAC matchup number 2 here tonight.
Took the words out of my mouth. They're a scary team here tonight. Shadid Shabazz is the GNAC Player of the Year. He's probably going to win it again if he has half the season he did last year. I mean, the guy is uber talented, and he's not going to have just 2 points. I can guarantee you that. He's not going to allow that again. For me, Alaska, if Seattle Pacific isn't the team that we thought they were maybe at the beginning of the year, I think Alaska, in all honesty, could sneak all the way up to that 1 spot. I really think this team could win a GNAC title at the end of the year. When you have the best player and you get hot, only you can stop yourself. And so, for me, watching tonight, it's going to be how does Shadid come out in the first few minutes. I think his defense is underrated because he throws up 30 points a game. I mean, he's the defensive player of the year, and I think it's underrated how good his defense is. And so, he can do everything for them. He's going to look to give them a spark, get them going, and look to get out of their trip here with a 1-1 record.
Well, of course, Greg Sparling, just his 3rd year in Fairbanks as the head coach at Alaska, but he no stranger at all, of course, to GNAC play. He was the coach at Central Washington for the better part of close to 3 decades. His relationship with that squad over in Ellensburg goes back a long, long ways. Folks, we're just a few seconds away from tip-off. We'll take a break, we'll step away, but when we come right back, we will set the stage with some starting lineups and a few last-second thoughts before tip-off between Alaska and St. Martin's on the Saints Digital Network. And welcome back inside Marcus Pavilion. One game here tonight after the women's game between Alaska and St. Martin's was postponed. Hopefully those two teams will be able to tangle somewhere down the road here in Lacey. Let's quickly bring you some starting lineups for the game we do have for you tonight. That's men's basketball action between the Netherlands and Saints. Let's get you the starting lineup first for Alaska. Leading the way, of course, in the backcourt, number 0, Shadid Shabazz. He's a 6'1" senior from Seattle by way of Iowa Western University. Joining him in the backcourt, a former Husky, number 2, Quinn Bernard. He's a 6-foot graduate transfer from Bellevue. And yes, he did play at UW for a few seasons. Also in the backcourt, the very quick Kobe Huerta, point guard, 5'9" senior from Covington. Up front for Alaska, number 10, Willie Thomas. He's a 6'6" junior from Tacoma. And Coleman Sparling, the son of head coach Greg Sparling, a 5th-year graduate transfer. He's a 6'7" wing from Ellensburg. For the Saints in the starting lineup tonight, in the backcourt, number 0, Alex Schumacher, coming off a very impressive game against Alaska the other night. He's a 6'3" sophomore from Vancouver. Also in the backcourt, Kyle Greeley, the 6'5" transfer from Portland State. Another Portland State transfer rounds out the backcourt, number 11, Jaden Nielsen Skinner, the 5'10" sophomore. Up front for the Saints, and they're going with a twin tower look tonight. How about this? Number 24, Brett Reed, the 6'8" senior transfer from Chaminade, is joined up front by the longtime Saint from Forks, number 32, Marky Adams, the 6'9" senior. So Austin going with the twin towers here this evening. Just throwing out a different look. This is the first time that Reed and Marky Adams have started in the same game.
Absolutely. I think the Saints are going with that look that they ran a lot on Thursday night, where Marky's going to play down low. You're going to see Brett at the top of the key, a lot of pick and rolls up top, and you're going to have to force to decide who are you going to guard. The guy rolling, Brett Reed picking, who could drive to the rim, or if you forget about Marky Adams down low, he can finish, and we saw a big dunk on Thursday night. So
indeed we did. Two-handed pack. That was good stuff.
For me, first 2 minutes, who's hungrier?
Yep.
Both these teams want to win. You don't want to start off GNAC 0-2. That's what's on the line here tonight. A 500 record. Who is hungrier for the win?
And an interesting look for these two teams here this evening. The Saints are playing in their road black uniforms. Don't adjust your screens, folks. Alaska is playing in their traditional home whites. A little bit of a logistical complication that maybe we'll be able to tell you a little bit more about tonight. But anyway, Alaska in white, Saints in black are underway. Schumacher kicks back outside for Greeley. Plenty of time on the shot clock as the Saints reset the offense between the circles with Nielsen Skinner. Rolls off the high screen from Reed. Reed gets it back down low. Ball dispossessed. Stripped and will go out of bounds off Alaska with 7 on the shot clock.
Well, that was the exact look the Saints wanted. They leave Brett Reed wide open, gets a good look, just couldn't hold on.
Flash wide open for the moment. 5 on the shot clock for Schumacher. Kicks it back for Nielsen Skinner. Has to pull up here quickly, gets it off. Will it catch rim? It will! It won't just catch rim, it'll bound off the backboard and through. A long 2, not a 3, but a long 2 to get us started. A prayer answered to begin the game, Austin.
And like I said, he came up with a lot of clutch shots on Thursday. That one had a little bit extra on it.
That was pretty gross, but the Saints will take it nevertheless. Huerta with it. Accelerates, now pulls back, hands it off. On the drive, it's Willie Thomas. His shot no good. Adams the board for the Saints. Greeley ahead with it. Waits for his teammates. Now Nielsen Skinner in front of the Alaska bench. Reed comes out to get it stripped from behind. Nice play by Sparling. Crosses the timeline. Kicks to Huerta. Wheels back outside, and Alaska will run their stuff. 2-0 early going. Saints in that 2-3 zone.
Already in that zone. They want to try and play more man-to-man this year, but with this lineup with Reed and Adams, they favor the zone.
Look at Schumacher hawking Thomas. Thomas on a strong drive, a little off balance. Shot won't fall. Referees talk about it, and they will award possession to the Saints. A couple of empty trips for Alaska to get things going.
Well, that's 2 plays in a row now where Alaska's been able to get Thomas the ball driving on Adams. They're trying to catch the big man, not moving his feet fast enough. Right now, Adams shuffling side to side. Very smooth defense.
Nielsen Skinner hands it off for Schumacher. He'll trigger a 3 from the top of the key. That one a little strong. Tuna looks after it, and Brett Reed comes away with it. Reed crosses right to left. To the low block. Picks up his dribble, kicks back outside for Greeley. They want Reed to go to work on the blocks. Faces the basket. Goes to work on Thomas. Gets to the rack. Uses the rim. Can't finish. Rebound. Reed gets his own. But there's a jump ball called on the floor, and it will give possession to the Nanooks. I didn't see a tie up there, but something happened beneath the basket amidst all that traffic down low. In any event, it's Alaska basketball. Just about 2 minutes gone by here in the game.
I would say a slow start, in all honesty, for both teams. Still looking to find, I think, Alaska trying to figure out this zone. And for the Saints offensively, they're pushing that ball down low. They want Reed and Adams to get the majority of the looks right now.
He's going to be probing that zone here, trying to feel it out. Miscommunication there. Sparling wanted a teammate to cut one way, but Bernard cut the other. Alaska still scoreless, still trying to find their way through that 2-3 zone that's been effective thus far for the Saints. Reed looking for Adams down low. Another steal, his second already for Coleman Sparling. Here's Thomas. Explosive drive, powers to the rim, crashes smack into Marky Adams. Adams will be called for the foul. And Willie Thomas will head to the line. You see Alaska getting out in transition. Willie Thomas, a focal point of the Alaska offense thus far.
Yeah, Thomas, transfer out of Skagit Valley. I mean, he's got a lot of athleticism. I mean, when you can find a player 6'6" who can take the ball from the top and drive it with force to the rim, that's a hard thing to stop. And Marky Adams did his best there to try and set up the charge. I think he was inside the restricted area. I believe that is why the call was made. But again, he's a very talented player, able to catch the ball outside, work in.
It's just Willie Thomas's third start of the season. It's just the sixth leading scorer on this team. But he has had a heavy hand in each of Alaska's possessions so far in this game. Reed with it up top. Spins into the paint. Met at the apex by Sparling. Coleman Sparling showing out on defense. Here's Thomas running the lane. Can't pack it with one hand. Just lost control of it as he rose to the 10. And the Saints bring it the other way. Schumacher off the screen. Blows past everyone, gets to the rack too strong. Adams with the putback goes, and he's fouled. He'll head to the line for the and one.
Well, Alex Schumacher, he's had Shadiz Shabazz just shadow him all game. Hasn't been able to shake him. Finally right there, saw the switch, takes it straight to the rack. And then Marky Adams doing what he does best, just sitting down low, waiting for it.
Well, so far, going with the two bigs in the starting lineup has worked out. Here's Reed. When Adams can't finish the end one, Reed grabs the offensive rebound, goes glass, lays it in. So a 4-point possession for the Saints. They lead it 6-2. How about that?
That was the Brett Reed that we saw down in California, averaging 20 points and 8 boards. Great move.
Husky transfer. Quinn Bernard comes to get it here on the near side wing. Forces it back across. Shabazz has really been quiet here so far, nearly going. Has barely touched the ball. Now he drives. Gets tangled up with Schumacher, and he travels with the basketball. Shabazz unable to get going just yet, but mark my words, folks, it won't be long before they awaken the sleeping giant. 1 for 3 in 24 minutes the other night. Wasn't in foul trouble at all. They just buttoned him up very tightly on defense, and Shabazz was virtually unheard of as Jaden Nielsen Skinner just lulls the defense to sleep, blows past everyone, and gets to the rim for the easy lay-in. And that's it for Greg Sparling for the moment. He's seen enough from his starting 5 for right now. He will call for a timeout as the Saints have jumped out to the early 8-2 advantage. Just about 4 minutes gone by. St. Martin's getting out to a very strong start to begin this game. How about Brett Reed already with 4 rebounds in this game? Saints are just getting after it at both ends of the floor.
That's what Reed does. He had 8 boards a game at Shaman on 20 minutes of action. He could lead the conference in rebounding. That's where his strong suit is, and that move that he put on.
A little bit of a soft spot in the zone. The 3 not connected by Huerta. Alaska able to keep the possession alive. Barnard. We'll go with Bernard. Resets the offense. Here's Shabazz looking for some space. Triggers a 3. That one too strong. Bounds up over the backboard, but another offensive rebound. And we'll keep it at the Alaska end. Sparling drives, kicks. Shot on the way for Bernard. Squares it up. No good. Rebound. Kyle Greeley, St. Martin's.
Saints going to have numbers at 5-on-4. Can they find the mismatch? It's Skinner outside wide open, but they couldn't quite find it.
Still has yet to make a shot at their end of the floor. They are 0 for 5 to start this game, and a whistle against Shabazz. Hawking Schumacher at the top. We'll get our first look at Tyke Thompson. He makes his way on. Brett Reed exits stage left.
Yeah, when the Saints bring Thompson back onto the floor, it adds a stretch 4. They're going to look to attack more outside in.
Schumacher pulls up from 7 feet along the baseline. And the Saints lead swells to 8, a 10-2, under 5 gone by here in the first half. Another missed shot. They're still scoreless from the field. Nielsen Skinner blows past the defender. Kick to Greeley in the corner, is 3 on the way. Off the back heel. Nielsen, Skinner tangles with Huerta for a moment. Huerta comes away with it. Back comes Alaska. Bernard on the drive. Back to Huerta. Cut off along the baseline. Finds Sparling flashing open. No look pass down low for Thomas, and finally Alaska has scored from the floor. 10-4 hour score. Good patient offensive set there from the Nanoos.
Yeah, when the Saints are in that defense, if the opposing team can bring Adams forward, that opens that back cut. That's exactly what Thomas did. Easy basket.
And Thomas with a good box out on Adams. Gets it back in transition, lays it up and in. And back-to-back hoops for Alaska have brought them right back into this thing at 10-6.
What a pass. I mean, that one was going to be trapped in the corner with 2 players before even Lands gets the pass out.
Yeah, all set up by the great box out by Thomas on Marky Adams. And he ran the floor. Tried to hand it off inside for Adams. Shabazz comes away with it, but steps on the baseline and gives it right back to the Saints. Brett Reed's break is short-lived. He's back on the floor, as is Christian Hafner for the first time tonight for the Saints, along with Champ Spencer. Champ Spencer, the 6'7" freshman from Sumner, has been slowly working his way into the rotation. You see a lot of him in the earliest parts of the season, but he's been getting minutes as he gets more accustomed to the system here at St. Martin's. Here's Thompson in the corner, guarded by Sparling. Couple of dribbles now. Tries to go inside for Reed, but it's picked off. Shabazz the other way. Huerta now in transition. Hard foul committed by Nielsen. Skinner will send him to the line. We're also getting our first look of the night at Abdullahi Mohammed, 6'8" sophomore from Seattle. He's one of those Division I transfers. He began his collegiate career over at Eastern Washington, over in the Big Sky. Huerta's first free throw rattles off.
Well, watch for something here next time the ball goes down the court. What Alaska's going to do is they're going to put Shadid Shabazz on the opposite side of Reed. And so when Reed catches that ball down low and spins in, they want Shabazz right there so he can try and come up with one of his signature steals. That's where he comes up as the defensive player of the year. He can ball hawk those kind of plays.
And the Saints have been a little rocky on offense the last couple of possessions. Let's see if they can get something going here. 13 on the shot clock. Nielsen Skinner surveys the floor, starts his drive, crosses over, pulls up at the elbow, kicks back to Spencer. His 3 no good. Rebound Shabazz. He races out, gets to the paint, taken away by Nielsen Skinner, but called for a foul, and Shadid Shabazz will head to the free throw line for his first opportunity to score here this evening.
Yeah, if you can't face guard a guard off of a rebound and slow him down, he's going to get out. He's going to go straight to the rim and push that. And the best thing that you're going to be able to come up with is a play like that where you try and tie him up, but ultimately it ends in a foul. So quick guard like that, when they get the board, you have to be on him immediately.
First lefty free throw good for Shabazz, so he's into the scoring ledger. Mawich Kakjani comes onto the floor. The 6'11 sophomore from South Sudan now joins the mix for Alaska. 10-9 hour score. 7-0 run here for Alaska. Nielsen Skinner kicks to the corner. Tyke Thompson for three. Squares it up and crushes it. Tyke Thompson on the board for the Saints. 13-9 hour score. Shabazz the other way. Goes glass, lays it in among a couple of Saints defenders. So don't look now, but Shadid Shabazz has, I believe, and we all knew it would happen, he is awakened.
Yeah, and here's where he's the most lethal, is on the defensive end, but Skinner able to get around him and work out. That's where Shabazz can all of a sudden turn, a couple points into 10 or 15 just off the defensive end.
Thompson thinks about a three now, instead gives it to Nielsen Skinner. A whistle away from the ball. I believe it's going against Kakjani. And it is. That's his first. 3 fouls so far assessed against either team. 20 on the shot clock. Nielsen Skinner to trigger. Feathers a pass up over the top to Tyke Thompson. Comes to get it. Kicks to the corner. Champ Spencer will try another three. Got it! Champ Spencer. So back-to-back threes for the Saints. The first from Thompson, the second from Spencer, and the Saints back to a 5-point lead.
Yeah, Saints are sitting with their stretch fours over in that corner. So the moment they get the ball into the middle of the zone, they can kick out, get that open three, and the Saints are making them pay right now.
Pass deflected for the moment. Tracked down by Muhammad. Tries to go to work. Offensive foul whistled against Muhammad down low. He hooked his way around Tyke Thompson, and that earns him the offensive foul, and it will bring us to a stoppage in play. So a 5-point lead for the Saints, 11:43 to play here in the first half on the Saints Digital Network. So one of those last three-pointers has been changed to a 2, so our score now sits at 15-11, not 16-11. Thompson shot. He stepped on the floor, and an offensive foul whistled against St. Martin's. Well, that's an interesting call. Didn't really see a whole lot of what happened there. Alex Schumacher, though, whistled for that one. Get it off the ball, and apparently just turned right into the defender. Quick whistle. Schumacher moving back on the floor for a couple of seconds. Quickly assessed with an offensive foul. So 4 fouls apiece. 15-11. 11 and a half minutes left in the first half. Bernard hesitates. Now backs it out. 13 on the shot clock. Kicks to the near side wing. It's Huerta on the drive. Pulls up along the baseline. Leaves it short. Weak side rebound. Alex Schumacher. Slow things down for the moment. Spencer gets it. Triggers another 3. Falls off. Rebound. Alaska. As Hesitates for a moment. Now accelerates into the paint. Shot rolls off. Another rebound for Alex Schumacher.
Yeah, another good look for Shabazz there. Again, he didn't get picked up until he got to the top of the key.
This is a definite three from Thompson, but it hits Skitters off the front of the rim. Adams there for the rebound, and the Saints will reset. Ball in Christian Hafner's hands. Guarded by Huerta. Now Thompson with a much smaller defender on him. Schumacher, guarded by Shabazz, looks inside for Adams. Instead will trigger for three. That one bounds off. Saints starting to struggle at the offensive end a bit.
And the ball movement just hasn't been there for the Saints. Starting to stand around a little bit, hoping one guy is able to work free. They got to do a better job of getting that ball around the key.
Shabazz dribbles into a fall-away 15-footer along the baseline. That won't fall, and here comes Schumacher. Looks to his left, gets to the paint, stops, bounces a pass back outside for Thompson. Comes to get it, and will reset the Saints offense. Christian Hafner. Now Thompson. Schumacher drives. Switches to his right hand. Gets it to roll. Good touch. Good composure midair from Alex Schumacher. Back to a 6-point lead at 17-11. Nice little move inside. Able to steady himself in midair from Alex Schumacher.
Yeah, Alaska's making sure that Schumacher isn't an impact player. There he had to force one to go in. That was a strong move from the guard.
Huerta fresh off a big game the other night. Hands it off for Sparling, and he drills the three. Cuts the lead in half. It's 17-14. Three from Christian Hafner, no good. Adams taps the rebound into the hands of Sparling. Shabazz will steer it the other way for the Nanooks. Bernard. Now Huerta on the drive. Skips to the baseline. His shot won't fall, and Adams clears it for the Saints. So both teams a little uneasy offensively here over the last dozen or so possessions at either end. Schumacher nearly has it taken away by Shabazz. Got a little bit too cute for a second, able to recover. Here's Tyke Thompson. Camp Spencer on the drive. Gets into the body of Sparling. Shot won't fall. Got Johnny the board for Alaska.
Both defenses down low have been doing a great job, but now here's Shabazz taking it from the outside, offensive rebound, and Alaska will reset. But the bigs for both sides doing a great job defensively, stopping those cuts coming in, and also grabbing the boards. Right now, defense is the theme of this game.
6 on the shot clock for Bernard. Now it's Sparling. Raises for three. Marky Adams a little slow rotating out to him. It won't fall. Now a three after the offensive rebound. Launched by Bernard, and we're tied. At the 8-minute mark, it's 17-all.
Yeah, when you give a team 3 chances, you got to expect they're going to score, and Alaska makes the most of it. All tied up.
Schumacher for three. Spencer making a strong effort for the offensive rebound. A foul, I believe, is going to be called on Johnny, at least based on how he's gesturing anyway toward the referee. We'll get it sorted here on the other side of this break. We're under 8 to play, and we're all tied up at Marcus Pavilion in Lacey. The Saints began this game with their 2 bigs in the starting lineup, Brett Reed and Marky Adams. By the way, Marky Adams has played every minute and second of this game until this possession Austin, what do you think of the Saints going with that two bigs in the lineup offense? How's it work for them so far?
They started well. They started getting the ball down low, and then when they kind of rotated out of that system, we saw a lot of three-pointers, and even right there, Christian Hafner, probably the best three-point shooter on the team, comes forward, takes a shot. Right now, the three-point shot isn't falling. Saints need to get that ball down low.
Nope. Alaska gets it down low there into the hands of Muhammad. Couldn't get the shot to go. Baz tries to save it back in bounds, but it is unsuccessful. Just winds up with the Saints bench. That was an interesting look. We saw the Saints go back to the zone, but with Reed in the middle, with Marky Adams off the floor.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen that, I believe, here in Marcus Pavilion this year. So the Saints throwing some different looks, trying to cool off Alaska.
Back-to-back buckets after Kyle Greeley's able to connect. First, it was Hafner lacing the mid-range jumper near the baseline. And the Saints with back-to-back buckets out of that last timeout, and the lead builds back to 4. Long three cast from Bernard. That's no good. But another offensive rebound for the Nanooks. Bernard on the drive. Teardrop won't fall. Schumacher able to save it in bounds to Hafner. Jaden Nielsen Skinner perhaps got a little bit too clever there. Shabazz makes him pay. Strips him of the ball, gets all the way to the rim, lays it in.
Oh, there's Skinner right there on the turn. Blazing speed, but Reed, no good. Saints can't corral it. Now Alaska, another opportunity.
Bernard tracks it down in the corner, raises for 3 from there. And just like that, Alaska has their first lead of the game at 22-21. Nielsen Skinner crosses the timeline, hands it off for Hafner. He comes to get it. Hafner eyes the rim for a moment. Now Schumacher will back it out. Half the shot clock gone by. Now Schumacher steps into a 3. Got it, Alex Schumacher. Just once again lulling the defense to sleep. Had a screen set up for him. Eschewed the screen and crushed the shot.
Yeah, he had actually 2 screens as he had Hafner at the last second come over. Gives him a nice wall, nice space, and Schumacher's going to take that shot again. Teams kind of, their scouting report may be let him shoot the 3. Not anymore. He can hit from out there.
Tough pass inside for Muhammad, but he's able to corral it and lay it home. Shabazz kind of left that at his feet, so credit to the big man for reaching down with those long arms, grabbing it and finishing. We're tied again. Now Greeley on the drive. He's fouled on the floor. Wave off that basket. That is the 6th foul of the contest against Alaska. That is the last foul on the floor. The next one will put the Saints in the bonus. A couple of Saints come back on the board. Marky Adams is one of them. Gives it back to Schumacher. He'll try a 3 from the other side. That one no good. And here comes Bernard. Sparling an no-look pass to the corner for Thomas. Skip pass over the top for Shabazz. Bluffs it at 3, jab step, has his dribble, uses it. Now Sparling for 3. Leaves it short, strong rebound, Kyle Greeley. Under 5 to play now in the first. Really guarded out near the timeline by Thomas.
Yeah,
Skinner comes to get it.
I'd like to see Greeley get more involved in this offense. When he can get to the middle of the zone, he seems to make those kind of baskets all the time. So getting Greeley right there to the top of the key, that's what I'd like to see the Saints do more.
Nielsen Skinner skips, hands it off for Adams. A lot of contact inside, no call. Nielsen Skinner able to get it. Well, the shot clock expired. I thought for all the world that Adams' shot did get the rim, but the shot clock never reset. Well, them's the breaks. If you're a Saints fan, pretty sure that shot caught the rim at some point. All the same, it's Nanooks basketball. 4:20 to play. All tied up at 24. Shabazz rolls off the screen. Gets to the paint, has it stripped away. Muhammad recovers it, kicks outside for Sparling. Gets it back down low. This shot no good. Defense from Adams.
Now Alaska's just fighting harder right now for those boards. That's why they're coming up with all these second, third chances.
Shabazz with the shot clock expiring, drains the huge lefty 3. My goodness, that shot was absolutely diabolical.
Yeah, I mean, he had a defender right in his face, shot clock expiring, no fear. Man, he is a good ball player, and here's a steal.
Sparling, his third steal of the half. A near foul in backcourt. Sparling whips a pass ahead into the hands of Shabazz. Thomas on the drive. Kicks outside. Bernard, a wide open three. Got it. Back-to-back threes for Alaska. And just like that, the lead sits at half a dozen for the Nanooks.
I think St. Cena slow it down a little bit, get their composure back, have a good offensive possession here. Can't let this one get away because Alaska, they can put points up on the board quick.
Really steps out to take the pass. Tyke Thompson flashes free, and the mid-range shot will fall. Good looking mid-range game from the 6'7" sophomore from Salem. Good buddies with the two Portland State transfers. Sure had something to do with their arrival here at St. Martin's. Both Kyle Greeley and Jaden Nielsen Skinner played at Portland State. They're all from Salem, all three of those dudes. They go back a long way. Nielsen Skinner crosses over on Shabazz, gets to the corner, now kicks back up on the top of the key for Greeley. Thompson looks inside for Adams for the moment, instead triggers the three-long rebound, Muhammad for Alaska.
That's the ball right there. I'd like to see at least get down to Adams one time, and if he can't get the position he wants, then you can swing it back out for a three.
Exactly. Shabazz drifts to the corner, raises for three. No good. A couple different Saints after it. Hopefully they were calling same on that. No look pass down low for Greeley in transition. Nothing doing. Finds Thompson. Spins away from the defender. And the Saints will reset.
12 on the clock. Thompson, I think that's where he's going to want to set the pick and pop.
Greeley on the drive. Kicks it back for Thompson. Hesitates, drives, kicks for Greeley. Pulls up from 16. Got it! Kyle Greeley has the mid-range game working. And the Saints back within two, just better than a minute and a half to play here in the first.
Most underrated shot in basketball in today's game. That mid-range, you can get there. A lot of defenses don't want to guard it. They think it's the worst shot. Greeley, he's making them pay.
It's a lost art to be sure. Shabazz winds up on the floor. Saints with numbers here. 3-on-1 break. Nielsen Skinner kicks to the corner. A lot of contact, and a whistle is called. It will send Tyke Thompson to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. It's a long play on. We haven't had a stoppage in play for quite a while.
I think we actually have a media timeout, if I recall. I don't think we did the under four,
right.
so that was a long 6 straight minutes of basketball.
Well, long last, we'll take a quick break in the action. It will be Tyke Thompson shooting the front end of a 1-and-1 when we return. Well, everybody, welcome back inside Marcus Pavilion. We've got a nice little game brewing here. A little up and down, but it's picked up here late. A lot of good offensive flow here the last few minutes of this game. Our ball game sits at 30-28 right now. Saints led for most of this game, but Alaska back-to-back threes a few moments ago. Pushed the lead out to 6. However, the Saints, after that free throw, on a nice little 5-0 run. And Tyke Thompson earns the bonus.
And final minute 16. I think both sides just kind of want to make sure neither team gets like a quick, back-to-back three-pointers. You want to make sure you have the momentum going in the half. So I think both sides kind of going to play it safe here in the final minute.
So 6-0 runs for both teams here. First Alaska, now the Saints answer back. Bernard, 13 on the shot clock, crosses over, now hands it off for Sparling. Reverse back to Bernard, guarded by Cam Spencer, who's back on the floor for the Saints. Drives on Spencer, hands it off inside as he's going down. Ty Thompson with the block on Muhammad. Here comes Brett Reed running the floor, but he smashes and runs right over Huerta, and is called for the offensive foul. And it's a tough break, and probably why you don't want Brett Reed bringing the ball up the court in a transition opportunity.
Yeah, it's one of those where if you can find the kick-out guard to Hafner or to Nielsen Skinner, that's the best bet. But again, just trying to get that ball down the court quick.
Yeah, I love the effort. Saints probably could have done a little bit better right there. 10 seconds between shot clock and game clock here. We're under 30 to play here in the first half. Huerta with it, looking inside. They find Sparling isolated down low on Christian Hafner. And that now the 6th foul on the Saints.
Yeah, that was a good move. Muhammad came out, which vacated the paint, and it allowed Sparling to cut in. That was a really nice coordinated play by the Bigs.
Well, the shot clock now off, as it would have reset to 20 on the ball out of bounds there. So Alaska, if they choose to anyway, can hold for the final shot of the half. Muhammad comes out to get it at the top of the key.
You got to think Shabazz is getting this ball, and there he is.
Sparling looking for him, but Nielsen Skinner staying right there with him. They bounce it inside for Muhammad. Ty Thompson, another block! And that'll close the half. How about Ty Thompson with back-to-back blocks in the final minutes of the first half of this game to keep Alaska sitting at 30 points. So the Saints will close the game, or close the half anyway, on a 6-0 run. And we sit all knotted up at 30 points apiece as we hit the halftime break. Fans will take an extended break here on the Saints Digital Network, but please rejoin us with about 3 minutes left on your clock for halftime for our abbreviated halftime show. A look at first half stats and a look ahead to second half action between the Saints and the Canucks on the Saints Digital Network. And welcome back inside Marcus Pavilion for an abbreviated men's basketball halftime show with Jeff Lucero alongside my longtime broadcast partner, Austin Burns. And let's take a quick look at the numbers here. First for the Nanooks, they are led by the 9 points apiece from Quinn Bernard and Shadid Shabazz. They wound up shooting 31% from the floor in the first half. Not a great number, but they did shoot 5 of 13 from 3. That's 38%. Also connected on 5 of 6 free throws. 18 boards in the first half. 7 assists on those 10 made baskets. So they're doing a good job of moving the ball around and sharing it. 5 steals credited to the Nanooks, but I could swear Sparling had 3 steals in that first half. They only turned it over 5 times compared to the 9 turnovers for the Saints, who shot 43% from the floor. That number was lagging for a while, but they kind of warmed up toward the end of the first half to get that number back up into the low 40s. 15% though from 3, just 2 of 13 from beyond the arc. 22 boards, so the Saints are +4 in the first half. 7 points apiece for Tyke Thompson and Alex Schumacher to lead the way. How about 6 rebounds apiece for the Twin Towers, Brett Reed and Marky Adams. So, Austin, that was an interesting first half. First of all, the new starting lineup for the Saints, unprecedented. Hadn't seen Reed and Adams in the lineup together until tonight. As well, it took Shadid Shabazz a little while to get going, but we knew that he would. Just 3 points in his last game. 2 points, excuse me, just 2 points in his last game. He's got 9 here in the first half. Dude could seriously go off for like 26, though, in the second half. You know the Saints are going to have to key on him for the game's final 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think Shabazz, honestly, a 9-point half, I'd still say that's a quiet half for him. I mean, that's how good of a scorer he can be. And for the Saints, they were working really well when they got the ball down low. When they were shooting threes, that was where they struggled a ton. I expect St. Martin's to find ways to get that ball down low first, then work out, because the three-pointers they did make were on kickouts. I'd like to see St. Martin's get the ball moving towards the rim some more here to start the second half.
Hey, by the way, if those of you tuning in at home tonight are looking at that Alaska roster, you'll notice that there are 16 names on it. They've only got 8 active players here available for tonight's game. Several guys did not travel with the team, and a couple other dudes that are here are not suited up. So this is a very bit of a short-handed team here for Alaska tonight. Just 8 active players on tonight's roster. Saints basketball to begin the second half. We are now moving it left to right on your radio dial. Remember those radio dials? I'm old. Brett Reed inside gets a look early on. Shot too strong, gets his own. Goes right back into the body. Could not get the putback to fall either. So an empty trip for the Saints to get things going.
So the Saints did exactly what they wanted to do. Get the ball down low. Didn't get the ball to go in the rim. I think there was some contact not called there as well, but the Saints immediately attacking at the rim.
Baz on the drive, feathers a pass into the hands of Bernard, gets it back. Now bounces it down low for Thomas. Double teamed along the baseline. The kick to the corner for Huerta. He drives the baseline. Pulls up lame. Is he hurt? He might be. Let's hope not. Here's Nielsen Skinner on the run out. Hands it for Schumacher. Wide open 3, and he buries it in front of his own bench. Alex Schumacher. Saints were just 2 for 13 from distance in the first half, but they connect on their first here in the second.
Well, and they did it in flow that time. Skinner gets to the middle, Schumacher coming right into it, catches, shoots. That's exactly what the threes you want to be taking are, those kind of plays.
Love to see it in transition. Bernard thinks about it, thinks better of it, gives it to Thomas. One dribble, picks it up, skip pass over the top. Huerta will try for 3, and he got it. Huerta's still a little bit hobbled. He's still favoring that right ankle. Really hope he's okay. He relies on his quickness. He's a really, really quick dude.
Well, even right there.
5'9" senior from Covington.
Yeah, you had 2 players closing in on him, and he kind of threads the needle and gets that shot off. Huge three-pointer by Alaska.
Tough defensive assignment here. Nielsen Skinner drives on Huerta. Thomas affects the shot, and the rebound cleared by Sparling on the weak side.
Yeah, don't have to directly hit the ball to make an impact, just the presence there and the long reach. That's what disrupted the shot.
Skip to the corner for Bernard. Alex Schumacher gets a hand on it, knocks it into backcourt. Shabazz goes to get it, 15 on the shot clock. Nielsen Skinner picks him up, crosses over on him, backs out, now right back to the left hand, drifts toward the baseline, fires up a long, feathery 17-foot mid-range jumper. That thing hung in the air for a day and a half before it fell through the rim. 35-33 Alaska.
That was not an easy shot at all, and Shabazz just makes it look smooth.
Adams down low, goes to work, leans in and scores. How about Marky Adams in the post? Love to see that as well. Want to see more of it probably from the Saints as this game wears on.
Yeah, the Saints like to use Marky in kind of short bursts. That's where he's at his best, and that's what the addition of Brett Reed has allowed Marky Adams to do. He's always had to kind of play 30, 35 minutes. Now he can kind of come in short bursts.
And we see the Pac-12 move from Quinn Bernard. Nice little jab step, steps to his left, buries the three. 38-35 Nanooks. Nielsen Skinner handles, guarded by Huerta, still out there. The ankle's kind of healing itself. Just keeps moving around on it. Reed spins into the lane. Ball goes high in the air after it's stripped out of his hands. No look pass down low from Kyle Greeley. Sets up Marky Adams for the two-handed punch. 38-37 the score.
I mean, that's beautiful right there, and that's just knowing where to be at the right time. Marky Adams sits down low, puts himself in a position, and his teammate rewards him. Wow, that's one for the highlight reel.
Sparlings has been hanging around on that free throw line in the high post, trying to attack this zone. They find it wide open. Huerta. That was a big crack in the Saints 2-3, and Huerta makes him pay, back to a 4-point lead. Greeley handles here on the near side, guarded by Bernard. Reed steps out. Now back to Greeley. Faces up, gets it back. Couple of lefty dribbles into the lane, hesitates, fall away. 8-footer won't fall. Adams there for the offensive rebound, and Marky Adams already with a half a dozen points here in the second half.
I mean, he's doing it all right now for St. Martin's. I said get the ball down low. Marky Adams took that personally. He's just going to the rack. I mean, wow. St. Martin's, I mean, this is what I expected to see. This thirsty. Both teams want to win. That one, ooh, nearly going down.
Well, I will say it right now. I love seeing Marky Adams play with this kind of a chip. He is playing some salty basketball right now. However, the Saints commit the Cardinals in. They fouled the jump shooter, and there will be 3 free throws awaiting for Alaska on the other side of this break.
Well, here's that replay again, Jeff. Saints had to go battle for the ball, but they find Marky Adams wide open underneath on the block, and we saw a monster dunk like that on Thursday night. Marky Adams, man, is there anything better than watching the big man finish at the rim?
There absolutely is not, especially off that no-look feed from Kyle Greeley. That's the thing that got me hyped. And then all of a sudden, there's Marky raising for the two-handed pack. Good stuff. Great that we have replay technology here on the Saints Digital Network as well, so that all of you watching can enjoy that once again. Huerta at the line for 3 shots. By the way, we want to let's go ahead and shout out Nate Pearsall right now, the Sports Information Director of Athletic Communications for Alaska. Kept the game notes flowing for us here pre-game. Nate, I hope you're tuned into the broadcast. I know that you probably are. Hope you are enjoying this one. We got a great game going down here. Look at Kyle Greeley. Just slowly, methodically, painstakingly work his way down the right side of the key. And then he feathers up a shot. knocks that home. Saints really starting to feel themselves at the offensive end.
Yeah, they are, and now they got to buckle in defensively. That's a hard thing to do when you have to keep your head on a swivel. That's a deep three.
Yeah,
that's the kind of look you want.
But a tap out, and it winds up with Huerta. Another extended possession for Alaska. No look pass to the baseline from Shabazz, but Thomas instead kicks back to Bernard, who will try for three. Misses that one as well. Long rebound goes out of bounds. It will be Saints basketball. And Christian Hafner going to make his way back onto the floor, relieving Alex Schumacher. So 5 on the deck for the Saints. Hafner, Marky Adams, Greeley, Thompson, and Jaden Nielsen Skinner, who crosses the timeline, ball in hand. Thompson comes out to get it. Some contact with Sparling, but we play on. Here's Greeley on the wing. Faces up on Bernard. Now steps right into him. Pulls up from 11 feet. That won't fall. Rebound ripped down by Thomas. Greeley lost his footing. Recomposes, and here are Alaska at the offensive end. Pass to the high post. Kick back outside for Huerta. No good. Adams there for the rebound. It skips off his fingertips, but into the hands of an awaiting Tyke Thompson. Nielsen Skinner whips a pass around the defender. Greeley on the drive, nowhere to go. Bounces it back outside. Nielsen Skinner able to keep it alive. Back to Greeley in the corner. Takes about a three. 14 on the shot clock for Nielsen Skinner on the wing, guarded by Bernard. Adams comes out to set the screen. Nielsen Skinner, no look pass to the corner. Hafner for three, and he buries it. What an offensive possession for the Saints. They are crackling on offense right now.
Yeah, what it was there was the switch. They had to draw the double team onto Marky Adams. That's where they thought the play was going. Great court vision by Nielsen Skinner to know he had Hafner in the corner. Defender couldn't recover in time. Hafner, you give him that wide open, he's going to hit it 9 times out of 10.
And what a great first 6.5 minutes we've had here in the second half. Now Thompson on the drive, a lot of contact inside. The block was clean, but Thomas certainly did draw a lot of contact through the chest of Marky Adams. That's a veteran play from Thomas. The fans don't like it, but that is the right call, and it will send Thomas to the free throw line.
I've been very impressed with Thomas.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knew about Shadid Shabazz coming into this game, but Thomas is going to quickly make a name for himself here in the GNAC. Very physical, very athletic. He's also very composed when he gets down low. You see a lot, 2 of the 3 of those, a lot in the GNAC. You know, players not being able to be composed sometimes at the rim. Thomas has got it all. I think this guy's going to be a superstar here in this conference.
He's good on the first free throw. Sets himself, measures, leaves the second short, and Adams clears it for the Saints. Nielsen Skinner races the other way. Long pass ahead for his old college teammate, his old buddy at Portland State, Kyle Greeley. Gets it back, rolls off the screen, steps back outside, crosses over, now goes to the rack. Raising his Marky Adams off the no-look pass. How about Nielsen Skinner with the hesitation and the blow-by? We're going to get more replay technology going on that one for sure, because that was one of the best plays we've seen so far this season. They have an injured Nanook on the floor. It's Huerta. Remember, he tweaked that ankle earlier in the second half. He's played through the pain, but he is being attended to beneath the Saints basket. Let's all hope for the best for Kobe Huerta. We will step away here for just a moment. Well, the drive from Nielsen Skinner to set up Marky Adams for the two-handed punch. We're going to bring that to you again. It happened so quick.
I mean, that's just knowing Adams in the right place.
Yep.
Again. These guys, they are already on the same page. They look like they are in mid-season flow. And Marky Adams just adding to that highlight reel he's building here tonight.
Give him 8 points here for the first 7 minutes of the second half, 10 for the game overall. Shadid Shabazz races end to end, gets all the way to the rack and lays it in. Hafner for three at the other end. Got it! Christian Hafner, his second three of the game. From the very same spot, he hit the last one, and the Saints regained the lead at 49-47. What a second half this is already turning out to be. And at the other end, it's Shadid Shabazz knocking down the 12-foot floater and fadeaway. He's fouled, and he'll head to the line for the and one. We are seeing elite-level basketball at both ends of the floor right now.
Oh, both teams, they want this one. Wow, what a game we have right now. These two squads giving it everything, coming up with the clutch hits. I mean, the GNAC plays of the week, they're going to be filled with clips from the second half.
50-49 our score. Remember, it was 30 all at halftime. Already.
I think we're going to get past that.
7.5 minutes gone by. Oh, and another three for Hafner. His third three of the half, and give Christian Hafner 9 points here as well. Everybody absolutely unconscious on the floor for either team.
Yeah, Landon talked about being able to bring that big-time score off the bench. That's what Hafner is providing him. He is a pure shooter who can do it at any level on the court.
8 seconds on the shot clock as Thomas starts his drive. Spins toward the basket, has the pass deflected, gets it back and lays it in. We're tied again, 52 apiece, under 12 to play. That was some of that composure from Thomas that you were talking about a moment ago, and another no-look pass inside. Sets up Marky Adams for his third dunk in the first 8.5 minutes of the second half. Marky Adams with a dozen for the game, but 10 here in the second half. Three of those buckets coming on two-handed flushes.
Well, Sparling's telling his guys, someone's got to stop him. I don't know who wants to step in front of Marky Adams right there. I mean, he's a big man, and he's putting it down with force.
Shabazz misses down low, but Thomas there to collect it and lay in the putback. Foul on Shabazz will bring us to another stoppage in play. My goodness. I'm like practically sweating from just standing here screaming about this game. It's 54 apiece with 11:18 to play.
Oh, and here's that highlight again. It's going to be Thomas coming up top, and he forgets about Marky Adams. He forgets about the 6'9" center on the floor. He gets a wide open look at the dunk. Man, what a play. Marky Adams, he's feeling it. I mean, he's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. He is so humble. He is so sweet. And when he gets on the court and puts a finish like that, I'm not stepping in front of him. He can go right ahead.
He looks like the meanest guy in the world when he's raising with two hands to pack it. That's just good stuff. I'm also just loving the moxie in game right now of Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Skinny, they call him. How about Ty Thompson for three? Why not? Ty Thompson crushes another three. And the Saints are simply ablaze. 27 points for the Saints through the first 9 minutes of the second half. Shabazz steps back for three. Leaves it short. Ball saved back in bounds by Bernard. Thomas with it. Long cast from Kakjani. That's no good. Saints able to cover up.
That's a huge
Quickly
board.
ahead, it's Kyle Greeley with a wide open three in front of him. Oh, just a little bit too strong. But a tap back by Adams. Greeley on the drive, kicks. Here's Hafner for three again. Got it! Christian Hafner with his fourth three of the game. 60-54 Saints, 10:20 to play.
Unbelievable. And what selfish play. Ty Thompson, he had a look. He could have taken it. He gets that quick knockout right there, Hafner. Saints playing unselfish. They're playing basketball.
Give me all of this game. Put it in my veins. Shabazz fouled on the three. He will head to the line. Well, that's a tough foul. Whistled against Jaden Nielsen-Skinner.
Yeah, that's
it's
exactly
the right call.
Yeah, and that's correct call, and that's exactly what Alaska needed. Get some composure, get some time back on the court here, and let Shabazz just knock down some free throws. Whew. Wow, we still got 10 minutes left in this one. I mean, it feels like it's the final 2 minutes for the first 10 minutes of this half.
Remember, it was tied up at 30 at halftime. Wow. At the halfway point of the second half, it's 60-56. Nearly as many points in less than half of the second half as we had in the entire first 20 minutes of this game.
Well, we were supposed to have 2 games of action. They're making up for it right here. They're giving us all.
Off the lob, it's Adams again. He's got a dozen in the second half as Nielsen-Skinner sets him up once again. The lead back to 5 for the Saints. And Greg Sparling will call a timeout. This is some of the best basketball I've ever seen at any level. The first 10 minutes of the second half have been absolutely magical. Stay put, folks. The second half of the second half is coming up on the other side of this break.
All right, back out of the break. Let's look at that three-pointer once again. It was an unselfish play by Ty Thompson. Kick out right there. He sees the open man. He has a better shot, gives it up, and the Saints connect on their 6th three-pointer of the second half.
6 for 7 are the Saints here from distance. But they were 2 for 13 in the first half. 6 for 7, that's 86% here in the second half. And overall, the Saints are shooting 68% from the floor in the second half. Alaska Fairbanks right behind them, they're shooting 57%. So both teams absolutely filling it up here in the second half of this game.
Yeah, the Saints, I said they need to work inside out. Marky Adams has been turning a lot of heads. That's opening up some threes. Saints right now, this is the best offense I've seen them play under head coach Aaron Landon.
Off of the Nooks turnover. Here's Schumacher on the drive. Wheels it around back into the hands of Thompson. Thompson gets it back. Now Schumacher for a three. That one just does roll off. Offensive rebound for Adams. He's tied up with Muhammad. Are they calling a foul? They might be calling Muhammad with the foul, and they are. That's just the second foul here in the second frame for the Nooks. That is the second foul overall for Abdullahi Muhammad. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Nielsen-Skinner finds Hafner. He'll try for three again. Oh, it rolls out. Adam there for the offensive rebound. Schumacher saves it in bounds, but into the hands of Thomas. On the leak out, it's Sparling to the corner for Bernard. Well, short rebound, Thompson. Nielsen-Skinner steers it the other way. Blows past Shabazz, gets to the rack. He's fouled, and he will shoot two. Nielsen-Skinner is playing out of his mind here in the second half.
When he puts his head down and just goes, there's not many people who can keep up with him, and right there, he got to the spot, and Alaska couldn't set up in time. They were in the restricted zone, and that's what draws the foul. Skinner Man, his speed, that is blazing fast. You can see why he was a Division I recruit out of high school.
Just 4 points so far in the game for Nielsen Skinner, but look at his assist number. Sitting at 9 right now. I think the Saints, if I'm not mistaken, had 4 assists in the entire first half. They've now got 14 assists, so that's 10 assists here in the second half in the game's first 11 minutes of the second frame.
Yeah, and Skinner coming into this week was leading the GNAC at 4-1 in assist to turnover. That's an absurd number, 4-1.
He had 4 turnovers in the first half. He's got none here in the second half. He has settled into this game and taken it and made it his own. Bernard leaves it well short on the runner. Thomas there to clean things up, but blocked from behind by Thompson. Another block on Muhammad by Reed, and here come the Saints on the leak out. Hafner for 3. Too strong. Thompson tips it into the hands of Shabazz, but he loses it out of bounds. Bothered by Schumacher. Shabazz takes his eye off the ball just long enough to let it roll off his fingertips out of bounds, so keep it at the Saints' end. 7-point lead for St. Martin's. 8.5 to play.
I think now the Saints need to get that ball down low to Reed. The last few threes haven't gone. Let's get back to what started this run in the second half. Get the ball down low.
Schumacher to trigger. Fresh shot clock for the Saints. They'll just kick it all the way into backcourt. Thompson goes to get it. Now Schumacher drives on Sparling. Sparling holds his ground. Now Thompson for 3. That one just does bang out, but there's Greeley for the putback. He's fouled. He'll head to the line. Saints all over the offensive glass here in the game's last 4 or 5 minutes. Look at the look of exasperation on the face of Coleman Sparling.
Yeah,
clearly they clipped Greeley right across the arms. That was a hard foul beneath the basket. No one can complain about that one. That was plain as day.
Yeah, Alaska have been doing such a great job on the glass until these final few minutes. Saints now starting to leak in. I think Alaska turning and watching the ball, not blocking out 100%, and it's allowing lanes for the Saints to cut in and get to those boards.
Saints now at just under 50% shooting for the game. They were just 2 for 13, from 3. At one point, we're 6 for 7 from 3 here in the second half. They cooled off a little bit. They're 8 of 24 overall. Both free throws good, and all of a sudden, look what's happening. The Saints with their biggest lead of the game. A 9-point bulge. Shabazz comes to get it. Rolls off the screen. Fires away from deep. That one no good. The rebound putback is good. Coleman Sparling flies in and taps it home. That breaks a scoreless drought for the Nanooks. Schumacher off the high screen to first to Greeley. He's on the drive. The fadeaway 6-footer won't fall. Another offensive rebound. This one for Brett Reed. He puts it back and he's fouled. He'll head to the line for another and one.
That's what Brett Reed does best. Eat up the boards. And what he did when he got the offensive rebound, he pushed out his player, gave himself a lane inside to go straight back up with it. That's a veteran move right there. And the Saints looking to make this a 10-point game.
It will be Brett Reed to the free throw line for an and one opportunity when we return. And when we return, what say we take another look at that last Brett Reed lay-in. We'll have some replays coming up for you on the other side of this break.
All right, Jeff, here we go. Another look at that play. Off of the shot, Brett Reed inside position, gets it, now pushes his defender back, has that lane towards the basket. That is a veteran play from the transfer out of Chaminade. Man, impact player, plug and play, Brett Reed. What an addition.
Brett Reed just 4 points in the game here tonight, but so many other dudes have stepped up tonight for St. Martin's. This has been such a special half of basketball. I'm almost weeping. Just, I'm wistful, excited of the second half of this game.
Nice.
Brett Reed
announcer scream.
Unable to connect on the and one, so it's still a single-digit lead for the Saints, but it matches their largest of the night. Now here's Bernard popping out for three. It's halfway down and pops out. Brett Reed rips it away from everybody. Clears some space and hands it to Schumacher, who will bring it the other way for the Saints. Schumacher redirects into the hands of Greeley. Now Hafner looking inside, finds Greeley down low, lays it up and in. I was watching Christian Hafner and Greeley the whole way. You can see him set up. Greeley just waited just long enough for him to flash open. And it's an 11-point lead for the Saints. That three no good. Alaska has gone pretty cold.
Yeah, they're getting good looks. They're just not connecting on them right now in the Saints. There's a look.
Brett Reed has plenty of space. Has the ball taken out of his hands midair. Regathers. Gives it back to Thompson. 15 on the shot clock for Schumacher as he resets the offense. Drives, couple lefty dribbles, gets to the rack, lays it up with the left hand. That one falls off. He hits the deck, as does Sparling for Alaska. Now Shabazz the other way. Accelerates, gets to the rack, reuses the rim and lays it in. Shadid Shabazz just so good. Man, just watching him play is just, I can watch him just like shoot jumpers, like 500 jump shots in a gym. I'd be just fine with that. He's that special a player.
Yeah, it's just smooth. It's fun to watch. I mean, when a guy makes basketball look this easy, it's fun.
Thompson's three won't go. Sparling had the rebound for a moment. Huerta able to corral it for Alaska. Quickly ahead, Bernard, a wide open three in transition. No good. Long rebound, Schumacher. Fouled by Huerta hard at backcourt. That's a pretty good foul. The Saints had numbers the other way. They were going to get a transition look there for sure. That now the sixth foul on Alaska here in the second half. It's the second overall on Huerta. Good to see Huerta back on the floor, by the way. He had to be helped off the floor by. He's banged up that ankle multiple times here in the half, so really good to see Kobe Huerta back out there for Alaska.
Yeah, especially when you're playing with only 8 guys on the bench tonight. You kind of have to tough out some of those kind of injuries, and he's been a warrior.
Schumacher looking inside for Greeley, who flashes free again. Freely on the finish. Schumacher with the helper. 11-point lead for the Saints. Shabazz looking to angle his way inside, instead backs it out, hands it off for Huerta. Nearing the 5-minute mark of this game. Huerta rolls off the high screen. No look pass to the corner. Bernard bounces it off for Shabazz. Can't pull the trigger on the three. Kicks over to Sparling. His three on the way. That one halfway down. Rebound. Eventually tracked down by Greeley in the corner. And the Saints can slow things down and work a little clock with an 11-point lead as we are under 5 to play.
Yeah, Hafner was easily the shortest player down low and still muscles that rebound out.
Well, just when you think the Saints might work some clock, everybody turns their back on Alex Schumacher, and he punishes Alaska. Gets all the way to the rack, lays it up and in, and Greg Sparling needs a timeout. His team now facing its largest deficit of the game at 74-61 with 4:38 to play. I believe we've got a 30-second timeout, at least for the moment. And it is a 30, so we'll keep it right here. Austin, every player for this team doing their job here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a full team effort for the Saints. And this is exactly what you could have asked for if you were head coach Aaron Land or any Saints supporter. The Saints have come out on fire. And it's just been a great night all in all. And here's another look at that inside feed, unselfish basketball, Greeley cutting in. I mean, this team is right now, they're cooking. And that's why I said I thought they just had an off night against Alaska Anchorage on Thursday. This is the kind of team I expect to see night in and night out. when the Saints are playing like this offensively, man, they are a deadly team.
We are back in action here. Shabazz holds the basketball. Now Sparling gives it off to Huerta. They look down low for Kakjani, who faces up on Reed. Ball above his head. Starts to back him down. Lefty shot misses everything inside. It's tapped out of bounds. Last touch by the Saints. Never grazed the rim. So just 6 seconds on the shot clock for Alaska. Really steps off the floor. Hafner back on for the Saints. Sparling with it, drives, spins, gets the shot off the back heel. Rebound cleared, yanked out of there by Alex Schumacher. He'll bring it the other way for the Saints.
Now, I don't want to see this.
13-point lead and looking for more right here. Tries to sort of just punch a shot up and in. It wouldn't. His first shot just fell off his hand. Was able to gather it out of the sky, puts it back in, and the Saints lead by 15.
Yeah, and I want to see the Saints keep this tempo up. There's Shabazz on the other end. The Saints, though, don't worry about burning clock right now. Your offense is flowing. Until you come up with a stop or two, just keep this momentum going.
Nielsen Skinner hands it off for Hafner. Another three on its way. That one no good. Strong rebound for Sparling. Alaska's still right in this thing, but they've got to get stops and they've got to connect on just about every possession back down the floor. Shadid Shabazz with some fancy dribbling. Now pulls up for three. His shot blocked by Tyke Thompson. Alex Schumacher there to collect it. Tyke Thompson has his fourth block of the night.
He's been amazing. He hasn't had to do it offensively here tonight. He's getting locked in on the other aspects.
Schumacher blows past everyone. A lot of contact as he loses control of the ball inside. They're not going to call a foul. They're simply going to call the ball out of bounds to the Saints. And this will bring us to a stoppage in plays. The Saints leading Alaska 76-63. Folks, come right back for the final 3 minutes and 7 seconds on the other side of this break.
And welcome back out of the break. And to take a look at this replay, this is just Schumacher not giving up on the play. First shot doesn't go his way, comes right in, wrestles away the ball. The putback, good. That is a senior guard right there, not giving up. And man, this second half has been nothing but electric. These two teams on fire, but the Saints starting to pull away with a 13-point lead.
Shabazz, though, with the takeaway. He runs out, races the other way. Tyke Thompson with a hard foul. That's a good one. That's all right. They exchange pleasantries beneath the basket. No hard feelings there. A hard foul, but no hard feelings.
Hey, there we go.
Words. English words. Shadid Shabazz having a really nice game now for all of a sudden. He's got, no surprise here, a team high 23 points on 8 of 17 shooting. Now has been the first of two free throws where he remains perfect. Now 7 of 7 on the night, with 24 points as he lines up and connects on the second free throw. So 25, he leads all scorers. 5 Saints in double figures as we had under 3 minutes to play.
Now you expect the Saints to start slowing it down, look to get a shot in the final 8 seconds of the shot clock. But if you get a look like that, why not?
Schumacher down below, all by himself. He lays it in. Another assist, give him 10 on the night for Jaden Nielsen Skinner.
I mean, he's just been the glue for this team, keeping it all together. And Marky Adams, strong rebound. And Nielsen Skinner, he's not going to, I don't think you can slow that guy down.
Here's Schumacher, gets into the paint. I think he was tied up in midair, and he was. That's a good call.
That's a good call.
That is a good call. Good defensive play from Willie Thomas. I think Schumacher was anticipating getting to the rack with little resistance. Instead, two different defenders closed on him, and Thomas ties him up midair. Give it back to Alaska.
If you're Alaska, you don't have to worry about shooting threes. Still look to get that ball to the rack. Just keep chipping away. Don't hit the panic button yet.
And here's Shabazz with it. Able to maintain his dribble. Tough angle on the layup. Marky Adams there to defend it. Taken away by Shabazz out of the hands of Schumacher. He'll line up a three. Good box out inside, I thought, on Nielsen Skinner. Thomas tried to step around him and get the ball.
Yeah, it's a tough one when you're Nielsen Skinner. You're going to get low to box out, not let him around you. He's going to go up, over, and that's going to force you under his legs, and that's the correct call. A foul on Nielsen Skinner. But 2 minutes left. Again, the Saints let him shoot threes all day. That's got to be the defensive mindset right now. Don't let anything easy to the basket.
Nielsen Skinner's fourth personal, by the way. Both teams at 6 fouls for the game. So shooting free throws the rest of the way. Here's Huerta pulls up from mid-range. Too strong. Thomas able to work around Hafner, but can't control it. Back in bounds. Loses it. Oh, wait. Are we going to have a change here? We are, in fact. Initially, that referee on the baseline signaled Saints ball. He then self-corrected. Kind of put his hands to his chest as if to say, my bad. He awards possession back to Alaska. It's a 13-point game with a minute 49 to play. Saints in control, but it's not over at all by any stretch, especially if Alaska is able to drill a three quick off the bounce here once they inbound. But timeout called by Greg Sparling to set something up. 30-second timeout.
Yeah, another great rebound by Marky Adams. He's just been doing it all. I mean, obviously the dunks, those are going to make the highlight reels. Those are going to be everything. But the defense by Marky Adams, and I think the unsung hero, Tyke Thompson, those two have been amazing down low, altering a lot of shots. And I think that's why Alaska's had to step out and take a robust 28 threes in today's game. It really feels like they know that length is down low. It's affecting their shots. They're going for those easy threes. It just hasn't worked out here tonight for Alaska.
So many good stats for the Saints to talk about, especially, of course, here in the second half, where the Saints have now scored 48 points after working their way to a tough, harder 30 points in the first half. They've cooled off a bit. They were on pace for about a 60-point half at one point here. Knew that was going to happen. Both teams would eventually sort of stiffen up just enough at the offensive end. But Saints doing just about everything right to keep Alaska largely at bay over the course of the stretch run here in the second half.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to head coach Aaron Landon after this game. I mean, still minute 49 to go. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here by any means.
Nope.
But, I mean, this has been, in my honest opinion, one of the most exciting halves of basketball I've ever seen in this arena. And his team, wow, what a job they've done. And you know what, Jeff? I'm gonna be a little greedy here. I'm gonna say I want there to be another matchup in March between these two teams in a GNAC tournament. Wow, could you imagine the atmosphere in a winner-go-home game with these two? That would be fun.
I am all for it. I almost want to just fly up to Fairbanks in the dead of winter when it's going to be like negative 71 up there, just to see these two go at it once again. Up at their place. Minute 49, Sparling triggers inbound, but it's taken away by Nielsen Skinner. He races all the way to the other end, and that's probably going to do it. A 15-point lead. Whatever Greg Sparling drew up in the timeout, erase it. Shabazz the other way. Fires away from three and drains it. But with a minute and a half left, it's still a 12-point game.
And Saints are now going to have to deal with the pressure. I'd maybe even call it timeout right there. And that's what the call is. Now, Alaska, they're going to set up this pressure. That's exactly what St. Martin's, you gave a three to Shabazz. I mean, that's the one player who can't be shooting here. You have to double team him the moment he catches the ball. You know he's the go-to here.
Yeah, give him credit now for 28 points in this game. He has roared to life. He has found himself all over again. Whatever slump he was in on Thursday down in Monmouth against the Wolves, forget it. It's over.
Yeah, and remember,
it wasn't going to last much longer than a few minutes of any game, basically. He's just that good, that gifted, that talented.
Yeah, and remember, he didn't even take a shot until about 5 minutes into this game. I mean, this guy can put points up faster than anybody in the conference today. I mean, his brother, very good Division I basketball player. We got to see him at Central Washington. Shabazz, there's no question. This guy's a Division I talent. You know, he's lighting it up here. He could have his name in the D2 National Player of the Year mix.
Saints able to get it across. They've got numbers here, but I think they'll probably just back it out, and they do. Nelson Skinner comes to get it. They'll actually put him on the line. Huerta gives the foul. That's his third. Remember, the Saints, actually both teams now in the bonus. 1-1 for fouls on the floor for a while yet. That's just the 7th on Alaska. Nielsen Skinner steps to the line. He was 73% on the season coming in. Now a perfect 3 of 3, and he earns the bonus after sinking the first.
Yeah, and there's a Skinner showing off the speed, doing it all. I mean, this guy, again, he's the MVP in my book for this team. He's so talented, but he makes all the pieces work.
That was his first steal of the night, but it was a huge one. It might have been the death knell. Huerta fires for 3. Way too strong. Sparling tries to back tap it, but it winds up with Thomas beneath the basket. He's fouled hard. Adams just sends him sprawling to the floor. And then just sort of peers over his shoulder and is like, yeah, I fouled you. What? Willie Thomas will head to the line for a pair of shots. Exactly 1 minute left in the game.
Yeah, we saw some great big action on Thursday. Augie Pantovich out of Anchorage with Reed and Adams. Now we get to see Thomas here. You know, the art of the big man not going away. I know there's the 4-guard set and shoot threes, but there's nothing better, in my opinion, than watching the big guys go at each other, fight for every inch down low. You know, when they come up with those big-time plays, that, to me, is the biggest momentum shift in basketball.
Well, we've got a quick moment. I also want to shout out Javonte Jones, one of the couple of players that made the trip, but is not dressed tonight. He helped me figure out which of the dudes were going to play and which weren't tonight for Alaska. He asked me, he was joking when he asked me, he's like, you got to get my name on the broadcast, right? I was like, yes, I will absolutely do that for you.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about how much better this game could have been, how much more electrifying it would have been if we had also had the opportunity to see Javonte Jones play. He was very excited about that. Had a nice little exchange with him. It is, in fact, unfortunate he was not able to go. He was a game-time decision. Seems like a good dude. Really at the free throw line. Saints looking to salt this thing away. 14-point lead. 53.8 seconds remaining. We've got a couple of other finals here on the day. How about this one? Simon Fraser knocks off Western Washington in overtime as well. Western Oregon taking care of business against Alaska Anchorage. So Western Oregon, after a 1-6 start to their season, wins their first 2 games against the Alaska schools in GNAC play. Sparling's putback won't go. Adams has it taken away from Sparling. Goes Glass, lays it in. But it's probably too little too late. 13-point lead, 37 seconds. Here's Adams all alone beneath the basket. Raises and look at the finger roll from Marquis Adams. Why not? That might conclude the scoring on the night for the Saints. We'll see. Jaden Nielsen Skinner takes it away from Shadid Shabazz, backs it out. And this one is all over. Shadid Shabazz will wind up eventually tracking down Nielsen Skinner, fouling him from behind to send him to the line, but 19 seconds left, a 15-point lead for the Saints. And Austin, without a doubt, this is one of the best halves of basketball we've seen in the era of Aaron Landon basketball here at St. Martin's.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is right there at the top. For the Saints, that half, that first 2 minutes out of halftime, that could have gone either way, and I think, you know, whoever caught fire first was going to win this game, and St. Martin's caught fire, and they didn't stop. I mean, they're going to have nearly 60 points in the second half alone. That is unreal. And so, you know, this GNAC schedule, every game is a must watch, but this one right here, this second half may have been the best second half of basketball. And why not Shadid Shabazz? Why not? You got to hit that 30 mark, you know?
Well, good on him. He drills that one straight away. Still showing a little bit of pressure here. The last couple of seconds tick off, and the St. Martins are going to equalize. After dropping their GNAC opener on Thursday night to Anchorage, they rally back here, and they win this one in very impressive fashion against Alaska. 87-74, our final score. I have 1.5 million different questions I want to ask head coach Aaron Landon once he gets up here for our post-game interview. Austin's only going to let me get away with asking him about probably as many as 3. But I just cannot wait. I want to talk about this game for the next 4 days consecutively. This was such a fun game to
absolutely. I mean, I'm curious to see. I think Aaron Landon is going to be, his typical self, and talk about what the Saints can always do better. But hey, this game, Saints earned it. This was a fun win. Crowd goes home happy. You get away with the W. Wow, what a fun night. And man, how special was this game with the fans in the stands? That really helps, make this place. This is a completely different feel.
Well, folks, we will step away for just a moment, but please stick around with us. We will hear from head coach Aaron Landon on what was an absolutely remarkable victory here for his dudes in Marcus Pavilion tonight. The St. Martins men's basketball post-game show is coming up in just a few moments. And welcome back inside Marcus Pavilion for the St. Martins men's basketball postgame show. And we are joined right now by who I can only assume is a very happy Saints head coach, Aaron Landon. Coach, so many dazzling components to your team's performance in the second half. It was 30-30 at halftime. You guys race out and put 57 points on the board in the second frame. We were talking about it throughout the second half. There were so many stellar things happening out there. I'll just ask you point blank. Is this the best 20 minutes of basketball that you have coached here and seen on the floor since you took over as head coach at St. Martins?
Maybe offensively. we did give up 44 points, and our conversation all week is, we gave up, 45 on Thursday night in the first half, and we felt like that's where they got comfortable, and that's where they tipped the momentum, and that's a hard thing to recover from. So, we'll just continue to work and try to get better with our 40-minute discipline defensively. We just talked about where we were at as a team on D. Really ugly first half. talked at halftime just about opening things up offensively. Our motion was sort of dry. We just moved great in it. We didn't have great ball movement. Guys were trying to be unselfish. We started with the two bigs playing together again, and then even though we had committed to that, since Thursday, we just sort of went to playing one of those guys and ball string a ton, and it was great. I'm looking at the stat right now, the stat sheet. I got the one from half, and we really talked about sharing the ball. I think I was up here telling you, we only got 6 assists. Finished the game with 18 assists. I love that. Our goal's 15 a game.
And you only had 4 in the first half,
Yep.
and to finish with 18 means you had 14 in the second half. So many of those coming from new point guard Jaden Nielsen Skinner. That dude was absolutely everywhere in the second half, setting up Markey left and right. Kyle Greeley as well. He winds up with a game-high 10 assists in the game. I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna push back a little bit on the defensive performance. You knew Shadid Shabazz was just gonna get his. He's gonna go off, especially after a 2-point performance down in Monmouth a couple nights ago. But you guys did a great job of rotating down on guys, altering a lot of shots down near the basket. Their shooters struggled so much from the perimeter. Shadid Shabazz perhaps notwithstanding. At the same time, there was a lot here, and you guys wind up, plus 10 on the boards as well in this one. There's still a lot of really good things you guys did. I know you don't want to put up 44 points in a half, but still, you guys did a lot of things well that you might not have done as well on Thursday night.
Yeah. So, I can go that way, too. Look, that last 3, like Shadid, we're screaming, don't foul. Please don't foul this guy. And he hits a crazy 3. He's such an incredible shot maker. The frustration for me defensively was like in the first 5 minutes, wanting to play those 2 bigs together. The thing that you give up sometimes is covering the 3-point line. And we didn't cover the 3-point line in the first 4 minutes to half. And we really just kind of, find ways to string stops. And really we always talk about 3 stops in a row. A lot of people in college basketball, they call it a kill. We call it a kill too. And just couldn't find our kill until late in the game. But yeah, guys were unselfish. And when we went to that ball screen, essentially that's just us letting, Skinny and Schumacher playing ball screens and let me get out of my own way and stop trying to call sets and run motion offense. And those guys are better at me than thinking about basketball offensively sometimes. So really lucky that we had them on our side.
Well, I'm going to ask you one more question before we let you get down to the post-game tailgate with the fans who are desperate to speak to you. So it's so important, obviously, to start the season 1-1. You don't want to dig yourself in an 0-2 hole to start GNAC play. Now you get to turn around and have a couple non-conference games before you get back into the flow with GNAC games. You've got Puget Sound coming in here on Wednesday, and we'll follow up that game on Saturday with the Capital Classic against Evergreen, the Crosstown Showdown. What do you expect to see out of Puget Sound when you guys face off with them on Wednesday evening?
Aubrey's a really good coach. You know him.
I sure do.
And he's a guy that's been a head coach for a long time. He just knows how to scheme and prepare. So he's not just going to come in and make it about them. He's going to specifically plan for us. He'll have different things to throw at us. And it's going to be really hard to look at how they play on film and say, hey, this is how they play. Aubrey's really, really good at adjustments. He's got those guys playing really hard, like buying into that same gritty brand that he had at Lincoln. I think he's got his type of guys. I think he started there a year before I started here. So now he's got his own group, and they've dropped a few against really, really good teams. But they've also beat up some teams, and got some really good. That Redlands win is really good. That's the Richland game for him. So for us, man, you want to say those are warm-ups, but look at where we are. We're up and down, and so those are really important games. We really need to compete. We're not entitled to win anything because of our division. We just got to keep focusing on being the best version of us.
Well, that was an utterly spectacular performance, particularly, of course, in the second half tonight, Coach. And just want to wish you huge congratulations on what was an overwhelming victory. Skinner kicks to the corner. Good team tonight, a very talented team with a ton of D1 guys, and your dudes just got it done. Great job.
I'm super proud of them. Thanks so much. We had an awesome crowd. See you guys on Wednesday night.
You know it. All right. Well, thanks so much to head coach Aaron Landon for stopping by on his way down to go consort with the St. Martin's faithful here. But, Austin, you just heard it from him. Obviously, the coach is always going to want to – he's going to look at the things that they didn't do right rather than the things they did do well. And that's a coach's job. He's got to make sure the guys continue to improve on the things that they need to work the most on. But, there's so – I mean, I'm almost getting like goosebumps right now just thinking about the potential this team has to continue to evolve. And this was a huge step in that evolution. The chemistry just sort of unlocked itself tonight. The way Jade and Nielsen Skinner was setting up his teammates, particularly Marky Adams, of course. But man, these guys just look like they've been playing for a long, long time together. They were connected at the offensive end of the floor.
Absolutely, Jeff. And, I mean, for me personally, I think the big thing was this team coming into tonight, you could have kind of been looking back at Anchorage going, man, we should have had that game. That was a game we should have won. And instead, they got off to kind of a slow start. I think both teams were very sloppy in the first half. And the Saints didn't get discouraged going, man, we've put together three bad halves in a row here. They then caught fire. And this team, I think they understand there's no easy win in the GNAC. I mean, Western Washington going down, Seattle Pacific going down. Except that these are the top teams. Western Oregon, who's projected to be not that great, 2-0. I mean, this is anybody's conference. Any game is going to be a just drag-out, knockout fight to the end. And so, for St. Martin's, he put 87 points up after 30 in the first half. I mean, this offense is really good. Of course, there's always things you can work on defensively. The Saints, I mean, look, Jaleel Shabazz, hat off, he's the best player in the conference. No ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, Devontae Moffitt, point guard from Seattle Pacific, is really, really
absolutely
good. But Shabazz,
give me Shabazz. I'm sorry. Give me Shabazz.
I'm taking him number one if there's a GNAC draft. And so this guy just makes things happen. And that's what he did tonight. Without Shadeem Shabazz, Saints, I think, pull away in this game. So this was a great showing for St. Martin's. This was a lot of fun. And now you get to go into Coach Landon. He's always going to talk up the schedule. I mean, Pacific Lutheran, always a good squad. Or Puget Sound, excuse me. And Evergreen. Thank you, Jeff. And so, you know, there's always good teams on the schedule, but these next few games are going to be some tune-ups, get to work on some things, and then they get to roll right back into it come 2022.
Let's veer back for a moment before we wrap things up on the game tonight to the GNAC scoreboard tonight. I'm just looking at these final scores and I'm just confused. Like these are not the scores I was expecting to see out of the games tonight. Simon Fraser knocks off Western Washington in Bellingham in overtime, 82-80. Western Oregon started the season 1-6. They looked dead in the water, and they've since come back with two massive wins against the Alaska schools. First torching Fairbanks 2 nights ago by 25, and now putting it on Anchorage. They win this one 80-71. How about Northwest Nazarene taking Seattle Pacific all the way to overtime, losing by 1 in Seattle at Royal Brom. And then, of course, our result here, St. Martin's knocking off Alaska. There's one game left on the docket tonight. Central Washington and Montana State Buildings will be tipping off in about half an hour. Still, though, these are not the scores I was expecting to see. If you would ask me who I thought was going to win these games, I probably, with the exception of our game here tonight, because I did think St. Martin's was going to get the bounce-back victory. I think I might have, well, okay, I would have taken SBU at home as well. So, but I would have thought for sure Anchorage would have defeated Western Oregon, and I'm shocked at the Western Washington result. Simon Fraser knocking them off in overtime. It's going to be a fun thing. Things are zany in this league already, and we're just 2 games in.
Yeah, I mean, this conference was billed as it's Seattle Pacific, and that's it. And that has been thrown out the window. It is anyone's game. I think, honestly, you know, this Alaska team, when we watched them in 2019, it was Shadeed Shabazz, and that was it. They now have some key pieces around him. I think they're still piecing that all together. And I think by conference tournament time, I think this team, if they're in, this could be one of the scariest teams, maybe the scariest team to play in a conference tournament, a win or go home, when you have a guy who can put 30 up on the board like it's nothing. This is an Alaska team who can do a lot of dangerous things. You know, St. Martin showed up here tonight. Wow, GNAC, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, let's go ahead and put a bit of a bow on this one. Let's go through a few post-game numbers. First 4, Fairbanks, the loss drops them to 1-1 in GNAC play, lose their record to 4-4 overall. Shadeed Shabazz, of course, winds up with those 30 points. So many of those coming in the second half. Shot 10 of 23 from the floor, but just 2 of 9 from 3. He was a perfect 8 of 8 at the line. Also had a team-high 3 steals. Guess what? He also never came off the floor. He played all 40 minutes tonight. for the Nanooks. 3 other guys in double figures. Willie Thomas, who Austin, he was super impressive all night tonight. We talked about him at the outset throughout the broadcast. He's a really good player. 13 points, 6 rebounds for him in 30 minutes of play. Berard really struggled. He found his way to 12 points, but just 4 for 17 from the floor. The UW transfer also just 4 for 14 behind the three-point arc, so all 12 of his points on threes, but really struggled to find any flow shooting the basketball here tonight. He also played all 40 minutes. Coleman Sparling played nearly the entire game, and he winds up with 18 rebounds. 18 of the 38 boards ripped down by Alaska tonight, courtesy of Coleman Sparling. The only other player in double figures tonight was Huerta. He finishes the game with 10 points, but he struggled as well. 2 for 8 shooting from the floor in 28 minutes of play. For the game, Alaska shoots 34% from the floor, 30% from deep, 89% at the line. They wind up with 9 assists on those 24 made baskets, just 9 turnovers in the game. For the Saints, 5 players in double figures: Alex Schumacher and Marky Adams with a team high 16 points apiece. Marky Adams also working his way to a double-double, 16 points, 10 boards on the night for the Saints. 6'9" senior from Forks. 4 other players in double figures. It was 14 points apiece for Kyle Greeley on 5 of 10 shooting. Also had 5 rebounds. 14 as well for Christian Hafner. All those coming in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. 5 of 9 from the floor, 4 for 8 from deep. Christian Hafner off the bench, just firing away, working his way to 14 points. 11 points as well for Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, but it was the 10 assists tonight and the big steal at the end off the inbound play when Alaska still had a little bit of breathing room, maybe, to get back into the game. He sealed the deal with that steal, run out, and layup. 10 assists on the night. So many of those as well coming in the second half. 10 points for Tyke Thompson. Saints shoot 51% from the floor overall, probably right around 60% in the second half. 30% from the three-point line, 78% at the foul line. 44 to 38, the rebounding margins. The Saints +6, 18 assists on 34 made baskets. 12 turnovers, but 9 of those in the second half. They took much better care of the basketball in the second half. There's 3 second half turnovers. Just an electrifying performance for the final 20 minutes of this game from St. Martin's.
Yeah, I don't know who you give the player of the match to, but I guess I have to pick. And for me, it's Marky Adams. I mean, the guy came up with big dunks. He really filled this gym with energy. I mean, Nielsen-Skinner was amazing as well. Really, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But for me, it was Marky Adams. He had a lot of defensive plays that he came up, and not even just the blocks, but just the effective shots and his dunks. Wow, that was a lot of fun to watch. Marky Adams, player of the match.
I would maybe go Nielsen-Skinner because he did such a good job of dictating the flow of the game and setting everyone up so well. Tyke Thompson winds up with 4 blocks in this game, too. I mean, there's just so many dudes just stepped up and played out of their minds in the second half of this one. For the Saints, they now turn their sights back to 3 consecutive non-conference opponents before they resume conference play in the new year. Upcoming games, the Loggers of the University of Puget Sound will make their way just a few miles south from Tacoma to get down here to Lacey, about a 20-minute drive from the North Tacoma campus. They will be here for a 7 o'clock tip-off this coming Wednesday. And, of course, we do have the Capital Classic a week from today. The Evergreen State College Gooey Ducks, both women's and men's teams, will make their way across town. The women's game will tip off at 3 o'clock next Saturday afternoon. The men's game follows at 5:15. Then the Saints have one more home game a week after that against Douglas College here. The Royals will come into town. That's 2 weeks away. But for now, anyway, Puget Sound is the next game and the next time that we will be on the air here on the Saints Digital Network. A couple last thoughts before we sign off, Austin. Anything else you got?
I mean, what a fun week of GNAC basketball. I mean, if this is anything, you know, as a teaser for the whole 2022, conference schedule, wow, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, I'll say it one more time. I hope we get another matchup between these 2 squads in March on this very court in a winner-go-home game. That could be the best game of the season.
And a tip of the cap as well to Sydney, our producer on the broadcast tonight, queuing up all those replays for you. How about the work she did behind the scenes on the broadcast as well? Well, that's going to do it here for us tonight. On behalf of Austin Burns and everyone associated with the St. Martin's Athletic Department, this is Jeff Lucero signing off for now. Remember, the Saints are back in action Wednesday, December 8th against the Loggers of Puget Sound. We will see you then. Tune us in at about 6:45 for that one. And we get the pregame show fired up for the Loggers versus the Saints. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here on the Saints Citadel Network Wednesday, December 8th at 6:45 p.m. Good night.